Did you know Book Interrupted has swag? Check out our swag shop on bookinterrupted.com. There's hats, t-shirts, tanks, and a whole bunch more. Go to www.bookinterrupted.com.
Parental guidance is recommended because this episode has mature topics and strong language. Here are some moments you can look forward to during this episode of Book Interrupted.
We are talking about the book, The Hunger Games.
Hey Mitch is encouraging the fake relationship. He sexualizes her.
And Leah's was Jennifer Lawrence. So hence she thinks she's so amazing.
Yeah.
I would kiss somebody to survive though, so I could do that. I got
There
that
you
part
go.
down.
Easy.
These rich countries that get to be gluttonous with food and resources and power and electricity.
It just feels so wrong to read a book after you've seen the movies.
I think I would die still, but
Mind, body, and soul. The information is the goal. Try to learn something new without being distracted. Mind, body, and soul. Information is the goal. Try to learn something new without being disrupted. Mind, body, and soul. Inspiration is the goal. Interrupted.
Welcome to Book Interrupted, a book club for busy people to connect and one that celebrates life's interruptions. During this banned book cycle, we're reading The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This book has been banned for anti-family, insensitivity, offensive language, violence, religious viewpoint, occult, and sexuality. If you'd like to follow along, this book cycle is from April 1st to June 1st.
The Hunger Games is a 2008 dystopian novel by the American writer Suzanne Collins. It is written in the perspective of 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, who lives in the future post-apocalyptic nation of Panem, a North American country consisting of the wealthy capital and 13 districts in varying states of poverty. Every year, children from the first 12 districts are selected via lottery to participate in a compulsory, televised, battle royale death match called The Hunger Games. The book received critical acclaim from the major reviewers and authors. It was praised for its plot and character development. In writing The Hunger Games, Collins drew upon Greek mythology, Roman gladiatorial games, and contemporary reality television for thematic content. The novel won many awards, including the California Young Reader Medal, and was named one of Publishers Weekly's Best Books of the Year in 2008. In 2016, The Hunger Games took the number 5 spot on the American Library Association Most Challenged Books list. The reason for this stated, it was banned due to insensitivity, offensive language, violence, anti-family, anti-ethic, and occult/satanic. In 2014, the novel was also banned for reasons of inserted religious perspective. In a 2021 article in the City Voice, author Maya Overman observes, Suzanne Collins encourages readers to question authority and fight back when there is something wrong. Perhaps such a popular book is such a popular book and one banned because people in power don't like that power being questioned. And later, Overman concludes, The Hunger Games teaches the importance of questioning leaders and fighting back when they do questionable things, and that is the true reason for why it is such a commonly banned book.
All right, so it's personal journal time. Let's see what the members of Book Interrupted thought outside the group.
Hi, everybody. This is my personal journal for Hunger Games, Volume 1. So, I'm happy to be back with the gang. The band's back together again and doing a book with you guys. Though I think I actually voted for Hunger Games. Now I don't know why. I'm reading it. It's so wrong to watch a movie, having watched the 3 movies, I don't know, years ago, and then read it now is like totally messing with my brain. It doesn't belong in that order. Granted, most books you read and they're fabulous, and then you go and watch the movie and you're upset because they completely botched it. This is like the same in a bad way. It's not great. I don't love it, and it's absolutely not I don't know. It's just like the book is different from the movie, and the book's better, but the book isn't jiving with me. But I'm on chapter 8, and I really am looking forward to reading with you guys. Maybe not necessarily the book. So I'll see you guys soon, and happy Book Interrupted. Bye.
This is my personal journal number 1 for Hunger Games. Now, this is going to be difficult because I already read the whole book, and I'm tempted to pretend like I didn't and act like how I felt, because I felt 2 different ways, one way in the beginning and one way near the end. So I don't really know how to go about it. I'll just tell you about it in 2 halves of a story, and I guess I'll just stop recording in between, and you'll hear it on one episode and then another. So I'm also a little bit annoyed with myself because the new format allows for me to hear the episode before. Like, I can listen to all of episode 1, and then I can make my second personal journal after. My whole point is I usually I'm really messing this up. Bear with me, listeners. Bear with me, bookies. Normally, I listen to an episode and I have a whole bunch of thoughts and things to say, but I have no format to say them because we've already concluded the whole thing and then it's just being published. That's just the timing of how it was working when we were recording more frequently and releasing more episodes. So now that we're not recording as frequently, I have an opportunity to hear an episode before I've finished doing all my stuff, so I could technically comment on the episode, which is what I've been waiting to do all season last season, which I didn't know would be a nice side effect from this season's structure. But now that I'm here and I have this actual opportunity after realizing it, I can't remember what I was going to fucking say. So how about that? Anyway, I will do what I didn't do this time next time and write it down, because I like the idea that my personal journal will be responsive to the last episode, even though these ones will not be, because like I said, my brain does not remember. Anyway, back to Hunger Games. So I will tell you this. This is the first book that I've ever endeavored to read twice. Actually, you know what's funny? I just finished my final personal journal for When Dad Killed Mom. And in that, I reference Holes by Louise Hatcher. And I just realized right now while I'm talking that I've actually read that book more than once. So I'm dishonest. Well, I wouldn't call it dishonest. I'm inaccurate. And again, memory, okay? Stick with me, people. So this is maybe the second book that I've ever had to read twice. This is personal journal 1, so I'll tell you, this is how I felt at the beginning. I did not want to do it. And as I began, I felt whiny. Like, I don't want to read this book again. Like, it was very difficult for me in the very beginning, before they go into the Hunger Games. At the very beginning, when it's like describing Katniss and, District 12 and her sister and her mother hunting and all that setup, I really didn't enjoy rereading that. And I felt like that lack of enjoyment was indicative of what my whole experience of rereading the Hunger Games was going to be. And I felt all like, see, this is why I don't reread books, except for Holes. Anyway, so you'll just have to tune into my final book report to find out if I was right. Although I believe I did a little bit of a spoiler at the beginning of this episode saying that I didn't feel like that when I felt like this. Like there was 2 different experiences. So you can probably put 2 and 2 together and figure out what I am going to say. But I'm going to make you wait till then nonetheless. Bye!
This is actually the first time that I've read The Hunger Games. I watched the movie years ago. I have to say, it's a fun read. I said this on the group discussion, but it's kind of like reading an action movie. So you get to the end of a chapter and you just want to go right into the next chapter, which is kind of cool. People who aren't familiar with the Hunger Games, in it, every year there's the Hunger Games and there's 12 districts, and they pick a girl and a boy, not a man and a woman, a girl and a boy from each district to compete to the death. And I say girl and boy because they're between the ages of 12 and 18. And so they draw names to see who's going to go. And in it, the main character, the heroine of the story, her sister gets pulled and she volunteers to go into the games for her. And it's the only way that you can get out of going into the games once your name is pulled. Interesting thing about this book is it also shows kind of how something like this and fear can change the relationships of the people in the district. So they're being very controlled by the Capitol. The Capitol has these Hunger Games every year to try to keep them controlled and keep them living in fear. Notably in the book, in Katniss Everdeen's district, this is the first time anybody's ever volunteered for another tribute. So essentially saved that person's life. And I think that does speak to how the Hunger Games and the controlling nature of the dystopian world in the book has changed the relationships of the people in the districts to the point where they just figure, well, maybe they might die anyway, so why would I volunteer? Or it's another way to make their lives not as good or try to control who they are by changing their idea of worth of their loved ones, because some of their loved ones are starving and some of them are going to die in a coal mining accident. Some of them might go to the Hunger Games or whatever. And then so notably the difference, the heroine, is that she volunteers to help her younger sister who in the future still could be called into the Hunger Games again. So I haven't really teased yet what I think about that. I just kind of thought about that right now. It does change the relationships. And there's other districts where people do regularly volunteer, but those people are being trained from a young age so that they can win the games. So it's more of a strategic thing. And then I think about those tributes, what their lives must be like if they're being trained from a young age to be a killer. So not only is it gives them a better chance, I guess, to attain glory because they win something for their district, but what does that tell them about how the people in their lives, the adults in their lives, view their worth? Their worth is all wrapped up in how strong they are or whether they can win rather than who they are. So, but it reads as an action book. So, you can think about all these deep things about, the state of the world and how the people who have a lot rely on people who have very little, working hard and producing, so the people who want to be wasteful can be wasteful. So there's going to be some discussions about that, I'm sure, when we talk about this book. So far I really like it. Actually, I have to admit, I've already finished the book. I was planning on reading half of it before we met today. Instead, I read the whole thing and then the whole second book. So by the time you see me again, I will have read the third book as well and then watched all the movies. So Hunger Games, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I can see why it was so popular when it first came out.
So I've already read this book. I read it when it really first came out. I read all 3 books before the movies came out. I'm pretty sure it was about 10, 11 years ago. 10 years ago. My first child was a baby when I was reading it. I was on my first maternity leave. And I devoured it. I read all 3 books in, I think, a week. Lindsay actually lent it to me because she said it was so good that I should read it. And she's right. I devoured it. It's every chapter leaves a cliffhanger, so you really want to read the next chapter. You don't want to put down the book. It's that engaging. I can see why it's banned because it's really violent. It's about how the Capitol has different districts. Actually, it's not that far off from our actual world. It's basically like the districts are used to feed the greedy Capitol. So the districts or countries are used to just feed the greedy Capitol that overindulges and is basically a gluttonous society. So it's not that far-fetched. But what they do in this book is they have 12 to 18-year-olds who go into a game and basically have to kill each other and only one can win. So that's the really super violent part, and they commercialize it like it's a show. So it's disturbing, but it's so excellent, this dystopian novel. The whole series. I want to read the next one again because I actually finished it again. I read this 10 years ago and then I started reading it for this and I couldn't put it down. So I literally just finished the whole thing. Once again in less than a week. It's that good. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone else thought about this book and chatting with everyone. All right. Bye for now.
Hey guys, this is Ashley and this is my personal journal for the Hunger Games. I'm very, very excited to be doing this book. This is probably my favorite trilogy of ever, I think, honestly. I believe this is my third time reading the first one. I rewatch The Hunger Games yearly, if not twice a year. So when I heard that we were doing The Hunger Games, I was so excited. I started reading this book almost a month ago because I was just so happy. I absolutely love just all the detail that goes into the book. One thing I don't particularly love about the books versus the movies, even though I know this isn't a podcast comparing the two, is the books are so based on Katniss's perspective and how she is seeing things, which is really awesome because we do get a lot of background, but the movies show so much of what everyone else is also dealing with, which really helps bring the whole world together, in my opinion. It's not just a broody teen who's going through some really tough stuff. It's the whole world that they live in is really going through a lot. That's what I really like about the movies. Other than that, I'm very stoked to see what the other ladies think of the book, if they've read it before, and whether or not they think they would do well in the Hunger Games. I don't think I would, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe I could just, with some luck, get a few sponsors, hide out perhaps. I don't know, I could maybe. Probably not, but who knows. I also don't think I would be a career tribute. Those are from, I believe, the first 2 or 3 districts. I feel like I wouldn't be in the very poor district, but you know what? I don't know. That's really hard. I should have taken a test to see. Anyways, I'm rambling on. I love this book. I love the series. Yes, I picture Katniss and Peeta and Gale and Haymitch as who the actors are. I watched the first movie before I read any of the books. So when the first movie came out, I watched it, immediately went and bought the book, read that in a day, read the second book in a day. The third book, not my favorite. It took me a few weeks to get through, but absolutely love the movies. And I don't know if a book that we read will top how excited I am about this one. So I hope you guys enjoy as well. Thank you.
All right, so here I am. I'm about to surprise everybody and jump on the middle of their taping of The Hunger Games, their first taping. And I'm pretty excited. I'm looking for a mask because I think I said before that I was going to put a mask on, but I can't find one because I'm at my parents'. So I'll just surprise them with my beautiful face. Okay, I'm excited. Are you? I'm hoping they've already started and I'm like actually interrupting in the middle. On book interrupted.
Recording in progress.
Surprise!
This interruption is brought to you by Unpublished. Do you want to know more about the members in Book Interrupted? Go behind the scenes? Visit our website at www.bookinterrupted.com.
Book interrupted.
All right, here's my lovely interruption. So, my 10-year-old daughter has been sneaking me little love notes. So, what she's been doing is I might open a book that I'm reading for the podcast, and instead of a bookmark, I have a little love note from her telling me she loves me. Or I go to my computer and she's put a post-it note on my computer that says, I love you a lot, Mama, and hearts and things like that. Or the best mom ever I found in the kitchen the other day when I went to cook dinner. So this is a lovely interruption. And I just want to give a shout out to my lovely, beautiful daughter. Thanks for the lovely interruption. It's nice to feel loved.
Book interrupted.
Let's listen in to this episode's group discussion.
Welcome, everybody. We are talking about the book The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This is Hunger Games 1, not 2, not 3, just 1. Here we go.
Has anyone else read it before?
I hadn't read it before. I was going to read half and then I just read the whole thing. And then I read the second book. And then I watched both of those movies. And then I had the third book on hold at the library. I've never read these. And somebody's like, oh, the Hunger Games, what do you think? I'm like, it's like reading an action movie. That's what it
Yes.
is.
Right?
It is an
Right.
action.
I
Yes.
was like, it's talking about serious stuff, dystopia stuff. Some of it may be close to home in some ways. You're like, I could maybe see this happening. But at the same time, it points out the symbolism for you. You're not like looking for the symbolism and
Yeah.
like trying to tease out all the meanings of stuff. It's like reading an action movie. It'll tell you this is the symbolism in here, right? Which is nice. You can really move through it. And like I'd seen the movies years ago, but I have no memory for movies. So it was nice. So I read the first two and we watched the first two. And now I gotta, my whole just came in the library. So I'll be reading the third.
Oh, wow. Awesome. This is my third or fourth time rereading. And
You do like the Hunger Games.
listen, when I tell you, I was the prime age when this came out as the movie. Obsessed. I was absolutely obsessed with it. I've seen the movie probably 100 times. All of them. I watch them yearly, once or twice. Just obsessed. And actually,
Do you have your own reaping?
The yearly reading.
yeah, like
So you said, Kim?
Yeah, she literally has a yearly reaping. It's time.
Oh, I do. Yes. And I get emotional every time too. Every time. But I went to South Korea in 2018, 2019, and Catching Fire is my favorite book of all time.
Is that number 2 or 3?
2.
Number 2. Yeah.
That's number 2.
So I got the book in Korean.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so it's pretty cool. Like I don't know, you probably can't read it.
Oh,
but
fun.
Closer. Yeah, that's cool.
Do you read Korean?
No, not at all.
It's just a souvenir.
I was just like, that's so cool. Just to have my favorite book in one of my favorite places that I
Oh, fun.
ever went.
That's very cool, just as like a memorabilia. Now,
Yeah.
was it banned in South Korea?
Yeah, I got it in Seoul. I don't know if it was banned or not. If it was,
Sarah, do you know where they were banned?
I think it was banned in the U.S.
Banned in the U.S.?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Why?
So much
the
gets
U.S.
banned in the
bans
US.
so many things.
Really?
Which is very strange considering like their whole thing is that they wanted freedom.
Freedom of speech.
You know,
Or
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I assumed
speech,
it
yeah.
was banned in China.
That's fair.
They also ban a lot of things. Yeah.
That would make sense to me because they're so strict on government and what.
Yeah,
you
I
do.
assumed. I just jumped to that conclusion.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want a rebellion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But U.S., that's really
It was
surprises me.
also banned in Vietnam, Thailand, and India,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
but the U.S. too.
Interesting.
Lots of places
Wow.
in the U.S. Oh,
Mm,
China.
maybe not
Yeah,
anymore.
China was
China.
also banned.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Is Canada bad for banning books?
No, we don't really ban books in Canada very often. It's not common.
Yeah.
Because we actually have freedom of speech.
Okay, that's good to know.
I wonder if it's gonna become more common. You know, like, do you think that like
so?
some of the American sentimentality kind of like catches in Canada anyway? In a way,
Is Catching Fire?
is catching
Catching
fire, and
Fire?
it is kind of catching fire now, isn't it? There's a lot of
kinda.
more maybe QAnon believing Canadians. So you wonder if that's that kind of sentiment to ban lots of things maybe will become more prevalent here. I don't know.
Huh. I hope not.
I thought it was interesting, kind of on the similar page there, is when gay marriage became legal in all states,
Mhm.
so many very conservative people were like, we're going to Canada. Sorry you live in the 1800s, but like, you know, it's just,
Why would you come here? Yeah.
yeah, just very interesting, some of the mentality in the States for sure.
Another little statistic about this book, 348 cases of banning this trilogy in 2010 alone. 348 cases
Oh,
of
wow.
banning it in just 2010.
But why are they banning
Yeah,
it?
why?
So anti-family, insensitivity, offensive language, occult or
Offensive language.
how do you say it? When
Occult.
it's Satan?
Satanism?
Satanic?
Yeah,
Satanism?
satanic. Thank you. Violent, a religious viewpoint, and sexuality. Although sexuality, I don't know.
Art?
Now, I haven't read these books before, and I'm only on chapter 8 or something, but the movie was not. Am I not remembering the movie? It didn't seem super sexy at all. It didn't seem super religious at all.
No, there's no
No.
sexy at all.
The movie is very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're very similar to the book.
I don't think sexuality.
Yeah.
I
No. The only thing I can think of.
Oh, yeah, there is. Because remember, like, they're in the games.
They kiss?
No.
This is going to have spoilers. Yeah, they're like cuddling and kissing and they're not married. I mean, some people might not find that good.
They like kissed, like, did they kiss? Like at the end? Yeah, like
They will kiss.
heck.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
I think they kissed twice or 3 times.
it's not like they're not making out.
I'm gonna need some heavy petting. They gotta stay warm.
That's the thing. It's nothing more than really kissing.
But I think sexuality, I know this is graphic, but when I think sexuality, I think if it's going to be banned for it,
Penetration.
penetration, yeah. If it's going to be banned for it, there needs to be penetration.
If you're going to ban it, there's got to be penetration. Otherwise, toughen up.
I won't know to read it then.
Would you say this is marketed towards a teen or a tween?
Yes.
I would say
Yeah,
yes.
it's young adult. Yeah.
I
For
wonder if maybe it has something to do with the fact that Haymitch is encouraging the fake relationship. So it's kind of like pressure for her to, like, he sexualizes her and
He's
like
kind of grooming them, right? Like,
yeah, he's exactly like, it's a stretch, but it could be like underage videos on, you know what I mean? Like,
Right? She's
and-
16. She's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
25 or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and she
but
doesn't, or she doesn't think she likes him in that way. Anyways, it's Haymitch that introduces kind of the idea and like encourages her, and then she does it. Also, I'm just doing this for the TV. Like, there's that piece that's coerced. It's like a little bit coerced, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's, in all the times I've read and watched it, I've never thought of that being an issue with
neither.
Haymitch at all.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry to book interrupt.
Oh, Lindsay is interrupting our Hunger Games.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. This is exciting. Has anyone else not read the book before?
I haven't read it before. It's my first time. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. Me and Mare have not read it before.
So the reason I read this book is because Lindsay gave me all 3 books to read because she's like, you got to read them. They're so great. And I like devoured them like 10 years ago in like a week, all 3 books. They were amazing. Yeah. You gave them to me. I just had Matty. Yeah. I was on maternity leave and I was telling you how I'm like devouring every book in my house. And you're like, oh, then you should read the Hunger Games. They're so good. And you dropped off all 3 for me. And I
Oh, that's nice.
have a memory of Matty breastfeeding and sleeping and me just reading all 3 books like crazy. Like, they're so good because every chapter is a cliffhanger. So you just need to read the next one and I had nothing to do. I was just with my newborn. Like, I had nothing, but you know what I mean?
I just hate reading it in this order. It just feels so wrong to read a book after you've seen the movies.
Yeah, I prefer to read the book first.
Like, I've never done it in this order before, and it's very confusing because I can't imagine the characters as anyone but Jennifer Lawrence.
Totally.
And
Yes.
what's his nuts?
Yeah. Josh Hutcherson.
And what's his nuts?
What's his nuts?
I couldn't remember the guy who plays PETA in the movie. And so, like, in my head, he looks different.
He looks different.
And then when the movie happened, and I was like, no, not my PETA. Yeah, not my PETA.
Because they describe him looking different.
Like, they describe him as big and kind of like corn. I feel like he was like
Like a
this
farmer.
kind of football player-y farmer.
Yeah.
And then PETA in the movie is like
He was
not.
real dense.
He's short. It feels like
He
he's
is. He
short.
does feel short.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a little guy.
A little guy. And then Katniss' character, they describe her as so small and bird-like. And Jennifer Lawrence has a very beautiful statuesque, athletic,
Yes.
shapely, as like she's got it all, really.
She's got it all.
Yeah, she
Oh,
does.
she looks very womanly.
Like she's
No, Leah just says that because we all said that she looks like her.
That's right.
Remember?
Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence is so awesome. Also, my celebrity look.
She's got body, yaddy, yaddy, and
Oh, that's awesome.
No, I wish.
Actually, yeah,
I
when
wish.
we remember, I don't know if you heard that, but that when we all had to compare, it was maybe on the blog or something. We all had to pick
what this was for.
We had to pick a
Actors
celebrity or something that
To
would
play
go
us in a
with.
movie.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
And Leah's was Jennifer Lawrence. So hence she thinks she's so amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
she
so good
loves
looking,
Jennifer
so
Lawrence.
kind, so cool.
Well, I think Jennifer Lawrence killed it as Katniss in
Katniss,
these
yeah.
movies. Every time
She's a good
I watch
actress.
it, yes, especially, I know we're not talking about the second one, but in the second one, there's this one scene where Peeta, they think something happened to him, and she is shaking. Like her whole body is shaking while she's like trying to be close to him. Every time it gets me. Every time. Oh, it's geez. Oh, it's so good.
This is the first book that I've ever read twice, as far as I can remember anyway.
Oh wow. And do you like it the second time around just as much as the first time?
I'm saving that for my personal journal.
Okay,
So
good to know. I'll listen just to figure it
I'll
out.
have to
just to
listen
figure it out, I'll
episode.
listen.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just hate reading it in this order. It's so like not
Mhm.
right.
Book after movie.
Yeah,
order?
it's just
That's what you
book
mean.
after movie order is just all wrong. My brain doesn't know what to do.
As soon as I hear that a book has like a book informed a movie, I often like Where the Crawdads Sing, for example. I didn't know, and then I found out, and so now I won't watch it, even though I really want to. But I bought the book.
That's
But
good.
I did that with
Disney.
Harry Potter. I
Okay.
watched all the Harry Potters, and then someone's like,
Yeah.
"You haven't read," and I was like, "I don't know." So now I have.
Yeah. Well, so I was in grade 10, I think, or 11 when The Hunger Games, the movie came out. And I lived in such a bubble, like just being so young. I literally thought this was real life, okay? At that point in my life, I thought all movies were real.
What?
really? In grade 11?
Grade 10?
Oh, yeah, no.
Did you watch horror movies and shit?
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. This bubble I lived in was crazy.
I love that.
And I went with my friend to the movie, and I hadn't read the books, and she kept saying Peeta, but I thought she just had an accent, and I
Like,
thought
she
it
was
was
saying Peter.
Peter.
Yeah,
Yes,
me too.
And I
Me
was
too.
like, yes, and I was like, oh, this is so weird. Like they live in Canada or something, and like I can't believe this is what's going to happen to us in the future. So I'm happy I grew up.
No wonder why the book makes you so emotional.
I love also that you think that movies are legitimate predictors of the future. You're like, I can't believe this is going to happen to us in the future.
Oh, dude, yes. I was like, I would never win. Like I want to be Katniss, but I'd be first.
Yeah,
I would
Really?
make it 1 minute in there. I would
I
be
wouldn't
like,
want
find
to.
those poison berries. Bye.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, we should talk about that. How well do you think you would do in the Hunger Games?
No, not at all. They'd be like, first run and get away from everybody. And I'd be like, run? Like, I'm dead. Try to run?
First of all, you want me to be athletic? Mm-mm. Not happening.
They're gonna catch me for sure. I'll get a stitch immediately.
Listen, you have to think about if you were 16. How do we think we'd all do when we were 16?
I hated running at 16 too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
right.
yeah, 16.
I was very
hated
flexible.
running too, but I played basketball and volleyball. I feel like I would have a chance. Plus,
I did a lot of martial arts.
if you're living
Yeah.
in like Pan Am or whatever, you know it's
Yeah.
coming. So I'd also be like training hard, like just in
That's
case,
fair.
right? I wouldn't be like sleeping in and watching TV.
And you're smart, Mare. You can use your brains too. Like it's not just physical.
I might know what plants to eat. Maybe.
I think I would die still. But I think by chance, if I won, I think they would keep me in for comedic relief, honestly.
Keep me in. I love it. Such a reality show like strategy.
I think I'm charming enough to get sponsors. So I think I would
Yes.
play the game up really well before going into the arena. And then I'd be like, you got to get these parachutes coming.
Oh,
like,
man.
Yeah,
I'm talking every day. Let's go.
Your sponsor would have to send you like armor and a cage and a
Oh, yeah.
force field.
Force field. Then a hovercraft, you just fly around.
You just be in a ball.
3 meals a day.
I don't think I'd get sponsors. I'd have trouble with sponsors. You know, I don't think so. I would kiss somebody to survive though, so I could do that. I got
There
that
you
part
go.
down.
Easy.
You'd get banned
Yeah.
for sexuality then.
There you go. I'm like, you're gonna give me soup for kissing somebody? I'll kiss everybody. Just like line up.
You're gonna give me soup for I'm starving.
I'm starving.
Who's next?
You put up a kissing booth.
I love soup.
I love soup. the next shirt.
That's
I will
good.
wear an I love soup shirt for sure. That is a great,
Love
a great thing.
soup.
I love soup.
Yeah.
Little kiss
Yeah.
for soup.
FYI, I will kiss for soup.
That would be what you wear going into the arena. Kisses for soup.
Kisses
soup.
for soup.
She's on there and the countdown goes and Mare rips open the shirt. I will kiss for soup.
It's her only
Shows
one.
everyone. But I
no.
won't run.
Right in front of the camera.
No running.
You have to
No.
come to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to climb, especially at 16. I couldn't do a chin up. I wouldn't be able to do a chin up to
hoist your
save my
whole
life.
Body up? No.
No.
Nope.
Not
No,
happening.
I could do that. I could climb and I could run and those things, but I don't know if I'd survive. I don't think I could kill anyone.
You would be too trusting.
The hand-to-hand combat would be your weakness.
I did martial arts back then though, but I couldn't hurt someone.
Remember, what did you used to say? There was some controversial thing you said before, like you would refuse to murder someone who like murdered your family because murder's wrong.
Two wrongs don't make a right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Aw, Sarah, you're so cute. That's really sweet.
I think I'd be more like a PETA.
Yeah.
I could hide. I could be like Rue. I could hide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just wait it
hey,
out.
a lot of people won their games. I don't remember if it goes through more in the Hunger Games or the other books about previous years, but there's been quite a few instances where with the tributes where they will like hide out and then people forget about them and then everyone dies and then they win. So hey, you could win.
That would get so
Yeah.
boring to watch if we live in this world where we're consuming this as our only, I assume, only TV show that get to watch.
Yeah.
And it sounds like pretty much forced to watch it, like it's not optional. It gets pretty boring. Okay, the only thing I could equate it to is like today's Survivor.
Okay, yeah.
They
Like-
say that they make stuff up to happen to the people. Like if everyone is just
Yes.
hiding and waiting,
Like
then they'll
force
like
them
make a
out.
fire. Yeah, totally. And push
yeah.
them
Yeah,
together.
like when Katniss, she's in the tree and then nothing's really happening and everyone's starting to go different ways. So they create the fire and the fireball or whatever. So they bring them all together.
Maybe
Yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
that
but
makes me
Chuck
mad
Berry.
though. It makes me mad because like I want to say you can't win. Obviously you can because someone does, but once you find a successful survival strategy, then they're like, too bad, that's poisonous now, or that burns you when you touch it,
It
or
makes it harder.
Yeah, they don't really care about fairness, I guess.
yeah. No.
Fairness isn't the name of the game.
It's low on the value list.
Yeah.
They really just want to kill kids.
They're killing children.
They're killing children. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're killing kids, really.
Right? And let's talk about the age range here, right?
Yeah, it's 12 to 18.
12.
Oh, 12 is so sad. Yeah.
If you're an 18-year-old and you're a 12-year-old, like that is like a huge difference.
And you
Right,
can
like-
see that in some, well, I mean, sorry, I'm talking about the movie, but in the descriptions of some of the other tributes, the careers,
They're like all 18.
and they're all big, right? And they've
Mhm.
all been training since they were like little kids. And then you look at Rue, she's this little 12-year-old. She's so little and sweet and cute. And then you put her beside
That's right.
Kato and she looks like a little pebble, right? It's
Yeah.
it's
It's not-
very different. So I saw this on TikTok like a month ago and I wanted to bring it up here. And we earlier were talking about how there's a lot of parallels to current society, right? Or even our history. So with the Met Gala that happened this year, I don't know if you guys follow that or not. There was some very crazy looks on the carpet. Doja Cat, it took her like 6 hours or something to get ready. She was painted head to toe in all red, and she had Swarovski crystals all over her, head to toe. Kylie Jenner wore like
Ooh.
a lion's mane and a head. Like there's some really crazy look. Yes, thank you. This
That's
insane.
so crazy.
Did someone
Wow.
find it?
Yeah.
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 So for people
Oh,
just
cool.
listening, I mean, that was a pretty accurate description. She just
Yeah.
looks
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Oh, definitely, right? And
Was
so
red the theme? Because there's a lot of real full red looks.
Yeah, what was the theme?
I don't know what the theme was this year.
I will look.
Yeah, look it up.
Does it normally have a theme?
A line of
Yeah.
beauty.
What was it?
That's 2023. Was that what we're talking about?
Yeah, 2023.
Oh, okay.
A line of beauty, whatever
that's what it
that
was.
means. Yeah, Met Gala 2023, Karl Lagerfeld, A Line of Beauty. I don't know.
Do you think that
Interesting.
Kylie Jenner like misunderstood and she was like a lion of
She
beauty?
took it a little literal. Yeah.
Is it
But
a
yeah,
line
so
of beauty
Some
or a
people do that.
lion of beauty, which is
Oh,
supposed to be
sorry. Did
literal?
I
Line.
read that wrong? Is it lion or line?
No, it's line.
A line,
Line.
like line, not
a
a
Okay.
line
lion.
of beauty. Oh, interesting. So with the Met Gala, there are these people, celebrities, who spend crazy amounts of money. They have so much wealth, like it's unreal, right? And we're also living in a recession. Everyday people are struggling to buy groceries, to live, literally to get by. Prices are crazy for everything, right? And then we have people like in the Capitol dressing like these crazy costumes, living extravagant life, and the rest of the world is left to kind of fend for themselves, and we gawk over them, right? So yeah, so there's been a lot of parallels kind of coming out where people are like, we're living the Hunger Games in such that we're in these districts already, and we have the capital are the rich people, they're the famous people.
If you look at even countries, think about the Congo. The Congo
Mhm.
is so rich in resources, and they're literally being exported massive amounts
It's
of
modern
things,
day
everything-
slavery, what's going
Yes.
on there.
Everything for electronics, diamonds.
And I say that knowing that my iPhone is a direct correlation to what's happening there. So I don't say that in like a I'm better than way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, but the people who live in the Congo should be wealthy, not
Right.
impoverished.
Yes.
And that's who they are. And everybody in the world uses iPhones and computers and everywhere.
Smartphone,
Everybody
lithium
uses
ion
it.
batteries, really.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And before
Yeah.
that was diamonds and
Government,
clothing.
they take the resources from their people and use it for capitalism to, like they just use it for their gain. It's not going back to the people.
Different companies and governments pay off a small
Mhm.
amount of the actual government and different things
Exactly.
like that to make it work for them. And that's what it is. And it all goes to these rich countries that get to be gluttonous with food and resources and power and electricity and water and anyway.
Now,
so
is it
it's-
named the Hunger Games? Again, like I don't believe they touched on it in the movie. Do they call it the Hunger Games in
Okay.
the
Yeah,
Yes.
so
book,
you'll have
or do they
to.
refer to it as the games? Or...
No, it's the Hunger Games. And Ashley could probably correct me on this at some point, but if your tribute for your district wins, that district for the next year gets like more food.
So it's a directly to like
So
eating.
if you win, you aren't as hungry.
Yeah.
Everyone's
So-
hungry except for
Mhm.
the capital. Even like Rue, who came from the agricultural district, she's like, no, we don't get to eat the food. The food gets sent
Yeah.
out. Like they're also starving.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so the capital is like, I don't remember, I think it's on like the right end of the country or whatever. The further you get,
I think they said the
from-
Rockies.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
protected by the
then
mountains.
Okay, so then the west. So the further you get from the capital, the poorer you are. So that's why District 1 and 2, 3, they have the career tributes because they're richer, they're closer to the capital, they get more resources. And that's why 12 is so poor. I'm pretty sure it's just the victor and their family that gets.
No,
Oh,
They
it's
get
not.
The victor in
until the end of time. They get
Forever.
to live in the
Oh,
victor's
right.
village,
Okay,
and they
you're
get money
right,
and food.
yes.
But the whole
Right.
district for the year.
For the
gets-
year, right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
more
Oh yeah.
of
I
their
haven't read
basic.
that part yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Isn't-
so right. I forgot about that.
Isn't there a part? It's been a while since I've read it. I started reading it in French, by the way. Laird got this for me. I'm practicing my French, so I was like, oh,
Oh, cool.
I should read it in French. So
good for you.
Maybe I'll do that.
you should read it.
I love that.
I remember a part later on about how they would throw up. If you guys talked about that, so they would eat so much.
That's
Yes.
book
And
two.
then, is that on two? Oh, sorry,
Mhm.
spoiler
That's
alert.
okay,
But-
spoiler.
but
But
that
the point
they-
is the waste.
Yeah, that they would eat and eat and eat, and then it was either they took something or they threw up somehow.
A drink to make them throw up.
They drank something
And it makes them throw up.
so that they could eat more. And I was like, oh,
How else would you taste all the food?
yeah,
I think that, right? Like, I just watched
Yeah,
that movie.
shocking.
Back to the resources, celebrities can do that. And they're so skinny too. And they eat whatever they want, right? And then everyday people are struggling. What eggs went up to like $12 a carton. Come on, right? And then for the
I can't wait till gardening season. I can't wait. I'm just gonna build another garden and just
get some
my
chickens.
planning for plants I can like snip off that will keep growing, so I don't have to.
Arugula. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, arugula. I had it last year too. You don't need a ton of it because it just goes nuts. Swiss chard.
It goes crazy.
My kids love Swiss chard.
Zucchinis grow really fast too. My friend has a garden.
Huge.
Yeah,
Yes,
you do know that.
I was shocked at how big they got.
Yeah, one year my mom grew so much zucchini when we were kids that she put it in we had it every meal constantly, and then we were like, we don't want any more zucchini. Like, it's too much, we don't want it anymore. It was like 3 months of zucchini every meal.
There was an uprising.
And then she like made a cake for us out of the blue, and we're like, is there zucchini in this? And she's like,
Cake. You don't bake.
it's cake. And we're like, is there zucchini? And she's like, maybe. Taste it.
Yeah.
It was chocolate, I think. Loaf.
A zucchini loaf hidden by chocolate.
Oh, Lindsay, you're reading a French book. And I remember you telling me that you do that sometimes when you're like brushing up on your French, and that you read Harry Potter in French. So I got Harry Potter on hold at the library, so I'm waiting for it to come in. And so I'm going to do that, but maybe I'll read the Hunger Games because I booked tickets and we're going to visit Sarah in end of May and then June. We're going for like 19 days.
Gosh, that's so exciting.
I'm so excited. Cool. Yeah, so totally excited. And then I got some Learn French CDs from the library.
I like the Duolingo app. There's an app called Duolingo.
I heard that's really good.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would take the time to do it. Like, I haven't listened to the whole playlist of when Dad killed Mom, just because I haven't had an opportunity to listen to the whole thing without getting interrupted.
Yeah, but little classes are like a minute.
Oh, are they?
Done. Yeah, it's like a game kind of, which is why I like it.
And you'll get used to the sound that it makes every day if you have the notifications on. Yeah. You know when it's Duo time.
Duolingo, do you want to sponsor us? I'm just kidding. We're not affiliated with Duolingo, but we could be.
We would love that, please. Or Audible too.
Audible. Great.
We'll take anything.
Are you going to come back for the next Hunger Games episode, Lindsay?
We'll see. We'll see if I'm able to.
I have something to talk about on the next one. Ooh. I have a subject in mind, but I don't want to say it because it's something that comes up later in the book. Even though I've read the whole thing, I'm trying to keep
maybe I'll have to come. I don't. Depends on if I'm available. But I would love. It's so nice to see all your faces. Miss y'all, and to see Ashley's face because I didn't know what you looked like. So
cool.
Now this is nice.
I love it.
So thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Book Interrupted. If you'd like to see the video highlights from this episode, please go to our YouTube channel, Book Interrupted. You can also find our videos on www.bookinterrupted.com.
A book club is just a book without members. Join the community by following us on Facebook, Instagram, or sign up for exclusive content through our website at bookinterrupted.com/unpublished. We'd like to give a big shout out to our listeners. Your support makes this all possible. Thank you for the uplifting feedback and for recommending us to family and friends. We love hearing from you. Please reach out through our website at bookinterrupted.com/fans or by emailing connect@bookinterrupted.com. We appreciate you for taking time out of your busy schedule to connect with us. See you next time on Book Interrupted.
Book Interrupted.
Never forget, every child matters.